Hello and welcome to News 12, where local matters. I'm Justine Miller. We are all feeling the pinch when the grocery, gas, and home heating bills come in. But believe it or not, some things are actually getting cheaper. Yeah, Dan, we all look forward to coming home to a warm apartment after being outside in the cold all day. But for some people here in the Bronx, that is not happening. The NYPD says that those twins were sent home sick from school last week, but there's still no word on whether that's related to what happened here today. That's the latest here in Mount Hope. Justine Miller, News 12. An EMT was attacked while doing his job by the person who called for help. Police say a 49-year-old man called 911 about an accident on Prospect Avenue. When they arrived, he allegedly headbutted one of the EMTs while they were trying to take him to the hospital. Cybersecurity experts are warning about a new threat: voice cloning, where scammers can make themselves sound exactly like someone you know. This is the 65th station in the city to get upgraded as part of the renovation initiative, and it's the first in the Bronx for 2024. Here, just 15 kilometers outside of Kiev, the back half of a Russian tactical Scarab-A missile is still lying right here in the woods where it was shot down in March. And now we have this storm headed our way, right? Some of the first real snow we're going to see in a long time. What's the most important thing that people either need to come here to pick up or to do to be prepped for this storm? Now, protests across the country and even in Brooklyn have turned violent, but the organizers here in the Bronx say they're not going to let that happen. This is going to be a peaceful protest where everyone stays safe. I do want to build a snowman because there is so much snow out here already. As we know, this is just the beginning. Be prepared. You not only have to deal with snow and with cold, but with a lot of wind. Now, I want to show you, I'm standing in kind of a little empty patch here, but most of the sidewalks in Crotona Park and all over that we've seen are just covered in snow. You can see I'm taking a step in here and it's covering my entire snow boot. 3 months after the massacre here in Bucha, the city's collected dozens of burnt out cars and put them here as a monument to the horrors of war. The injectable weight loss medications that continue to gain popularity also continue to make health headlines. Their potential side effects are a trending topic. While you might love a classic margarita or one of these with a fun twist, a popular option these days is also leaving out the alcohol. Even though dry January is over, I am at work, so I'm going to go with one of these mocktails that leaves out the tequila that tastes just as good. Welcome back. We are on storm watch at this hour, tracking showers tonight. So we want to bring Alan back and find out just how bad are these showers going to get, and more importantly, what about all that flooding? Police are continuing to investigate a body that was found inside a plastic bin along a walking trail in the Wakefield section of the Bronx. Here on the Romanian-Ukrainian border, the road is lined with dozens of tents from nonprofits and other organizations doing what they can to help the hundreds of refugees still passing through the border every day. The FDNY says they're still investigating exactly how and where this fire started. The Red Cross is here making sure that everyone has a place to stay on this cold November night. Dan, we heard from that suspect as he was walked out of the precinct by the police. This coming just 2 days after police say they found a torso inside a 6th-floor apartment here on Summit Avenue.
He was a really sweet, caring person. He would say hello to you. He would ask how your day was going. He would have a smile on.
A Highbridge woman who didn't want to show her face on camera, speaking exclusively with News 12 about her 44-year-old neighbor, Colin Small, who she says you can see in these photos the building superintendent shared only with 12. Small was brutally murdered on Tuesday inside his apartment at 979 Summit Avenue.
There were like 4 gunshots, and it's heartbreaking. He has a bunch of people that cared about him, that he's not around anymore.
The DA saying Smalls was shot in the head and then dismembered by someone cops say he knew, Sheldon Johnson, seen here, according to prosecutors, in different disguises coming in and out of Smalls' apartment on the day of the murder. Authorities say the 48-year-old was inside Smalls' apartment when police knocked on the door to do a wellness check. They say he told them Small had gone upstate. Not long after, the NYPD says they found Small's torso and feet in a blue bin inside the apartment. Prosecutors adding other body parts in bags or in Small's freezer.
I don't feel like he deserved that at all. No one deserves it, but he definitely didn't deserve that at all.
Johnson only had one thing to say while he was walked out of the precinct yesterday.
Innocent.
But he's been down this road before, police confirming 15 prior offenses ranging from assault to murder, landing him in prison for 25 years. Released last year, he became an advocate for rehabilitation, twice appearing on Joe Rogan's podcast, talking about leaving life as a Bloods gang member.
I made a decision that I was going to walk away, and I didn't care about what the consequences was. And I said to myself, I've been doing bad for so long, I'm going to try to do something good.
He's now facing murder charges, among others, and was remanded in court yesterday without bail. The medical examiner is still working to determine the exact cause of death. Johnson is due back in court on Monday. In Highbridge, Justine Miller, News 12. Hundreds waited in line at a local food pantry in Mount Hope tonight. But 3 regulars, one woman and her 2 kids, were missing on this Monday night.
I always see them like they were close to her mother, so this is something that moved our heart.
Pastor Randolph Andujar, who runs the program, says he loved seeing the tight-knit family every week. But today, police tell us the 5-year-old twins, a boy and a girl, were found unconscious and unresponsive around 11:30 a.m. inside their apartment at 240 East 175th Street, while their mother was home.
It was really sad. It was really sad.
All the children of the world.
Other local clergy singing hymns and lighting candles for the little ones, pronounced dead exactly 1 week before Christmas.
We're going to celebrate the life of these children, 5-year-old children up in heaven, just singing Christmas carols to the Lord.
Authorities tell us that no domestic violence or children's services cases had been reported in the past and that no carbon monoxide was detected.
At this point, we have to do our job as far as a crime scene. Hopefully it's not a crime scene. Hopefully it's an unfortunate tragedy. But we do feel for everybody in the community.
The neighborhood reeling. One woman saying she saw the mother of the twins walking out with first responders this afternoon.
She was terrible. I saw her crying.
Police say the parents of the twins are cooperating, the community offering support to everyone involved.
And what we want to let the family members know that they're not alone.
Now, the NYPD says that those twins were sent home sick from school last week, but there's still no word on whether that's related to what happened here today. That's the latest here in Mount Hope. Justine Miller, News 12. Up the elevator and down the hall. Lerone Wilson buzzes into his Bronx studio, or maybe it should be called his hive.
I'm one with the bees. They call myself King Bee.
For 3 decades, the Brooklyn-born artist has been using beeswax to create 3D sculptures that look like the surface of another planet.
I just stumbled across sort of this technique of using beeswax and learning history of it.
He says dating back thousands of years in Africa, ancient Egyptians used honey and wax in many religious and practical ways.
That narrative and content of it coming from Africa was really important.
Now perfecting the process, combining pure beeswax with other bee byproducts and powdered pigment over heat.
Turn this on.
Always keeping in mind his buzzing buddies.
Having this sort of energy that they gave me that spiritually fed me to just say, wow, this is something I can use to make art.
But Wilson's inspiration goes deeper than insects. Growing up in Crown Heights with a mechanical engineer father and a creative mother who never got the chance to dive into the art world.
It's just a wonderful freaking feeling that, this came from my parents and it came from their energy.
After art school in Chicago, Wilson eventually moved back to the Big Apple and says the city has been an integral part of his work.
Just being here in New York was that kind of energy, especially just growing up in Brooklyn and even being in the Bronx. It's been a tremendous place.
Grateful that being a full-time artist doesn't feel like work.
This is a gift. This is not a job. I don't look at this as something that I'm supposed to get up every day to go make money.
But luckily for Wilson, the beeswax is bringing in the bucks. His pieces sell from $6,000 to $60,000 each. And his work has buzzed out of the borough to galleries around the world, showing at Art Basel in Miami this month, giving collectors more than just something to hang on their walls.
Well, my work, it's a spiritual connection you getting from me.
Wilson on a mission to be creative while saving his favorite striped critters.
We need the bees. more importantly. My whole concept and process is about saving the bees. And that's been my gift and my duty on this planet.
In the Mott Haven section of the Bronx, Justine Miller, News 12.